Hey there, beautiful people. What's going on, my minions of technology? My name is Tim Lee. Welcome to Legacy Studio. Today I want to talk about a very interesting topic, and that's how I set up my audio for before I take it live on YouTube, and how maybe you should consider doing it as well. We want the best quality audio that we can possibly get. In a previous video that I did here on the channel, I talked about microphones. I've talked about why you pick a certain microphone over another one, what the best setup is for those, what are the pros, what are the cons. And as I bring that video into my software to edit it, I'm going, you know what? I've only covered half of the topic that actually needs to be discussed. What do you do about the audio once you bring it in to a software? Now, I'm going to go ahead and talk about Davinci Resolve specifically as the software that I would suggest you check out because it is free, which still to this day blows my mind. Davinci Resolve is incredible, okay? I use Premiere at work from Adobe, and it's a wonderful software. It's actually gotten way better since I used to own it, but you pay a lot of money to use that software. Davinci Resolve is highly comparable, and that's an understatement. They are very akin to twins, in my opinion, but it does come with a learning curve, and if you learn Davinci Resolve, you can make anything that you've seen on YouTube, anything. And you can even probably do it better than some of the other people out there that might be using other options. Don't look at paid options until you've tried Davinci Resolve, okay? So what do we do about this audio that we've gotten in our video? Well, I'm going to go ahead and show you because I'm literally prepping the previous video that I mentioned to go out on YouTube. And I'm going to show you what I do with my audio to make that happen. So let's go ahead and switch screens here and take a look at my Davinci Resolve right here. As I get things pulled in here, I'm going to go ahead and grab the video, and here it is right here. I'm going to grab it and pull it into the timeline. And you can see here that even though my levels on my OBS, my open broadcasting software, and on my mixer that I've recorded from, when I bring it in, you can see that the levels actually look pretty low. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and play this video here. Now, you're not going to hear the audio, but you will. I want you to take a look down here at the mixer, okay? I'm going to go ahead, since the video is not important, the audio is more important to us. I just want you to take a look at the mixer here where it says Audio 1, and you can see this mixer bar here. As we hit play, I want you to take a look at where these levels are bouncing up to. Okay, we're looking at negative 15 dB, negative 20 dB. Our peak is at maybe negative 13, negative 14 dB. This is relatively quiet. We have the opportunity, and honestly, we have all the way up to 0 before we need to worry about audio starting to sound mucky, okay? So there's going to be a quick way to fix this, and even a way to prepare just in case if things don't go quite according to plan. So let me go ahead and show you what I do. Let's go ahead and start by expanding this audio track open more, okay? I want you to see this full area here. Now, in Davinci Resolve, the green box area that you see, all of this right here, represents the audio room that we have to work with. So if I go ahead and stop the video, and I select this line, which represents the gain, which is right now set at 0 dB, and I tell it to apply gain, technically, we really should be sending in audio that's a little bit louder into Davinci. So if you can send the audio in louder, that would be better. It's going to be crisper. It's going to sound better. If you do not have that ability, or you are like me and you're a broadcaster, your goal is to get stuff out quickly, well then what you're going to do is you're going to move this up to the point that your lines, like over here, hit the top of this. Now, if I hit play again though, take a look. The majority of our audio is still, all right, we're at negative 10 dB. That's way better, but still not quite there just yet. We have room to work with. And then in moments like this, let's see what's going on over here as we get closer, all right? We have this, oh, okay, we spiked. We went too high. We've gone into the point where we have peaked. That is the term, we've peaked, and now audio would begin to get distorted. How do we fix this? Now, there's many ways to fix this. There's something called normalizing audio that we can do. There's something that's called multiband compression. We can compress the audio. I do something a little differently, and it's probably not the best solution, but it's worked very well for me, and since I put out content quickly, it's the one I would suggest will help you get by. The goal is to get this up to a point where the majority of your levels are balanced, okay? So I'm very carefully trying to not put too much into the red. All right, there's lines here that are definitely above peaking. They're going to go overly intense. But hopefully our audio now in general should be sitting a little bit higher. -5 looks really good in my opinion on the main part of the conversation. That's great. See right here? But we've peaked once again, and we're peaking in multiple places. And let's see about this area right here. Let's see if we peak. See, we didn't peak there. That's very, very good. Very glad about that. Now, of course, then, there's going to be areas where we are still peaking, and that's not going to be good for that audio. We really don't want to hurt people's ears to try to get better audio in one place, and then you have a screaming moment in one of your videos if you're enjoying playing a video game or you're getting frustrated, and then you start yelling. You don't want to blast out your listeners, and suddenly your audio becomes garbled or annoying. So the way I fix that, which just works really well for me, and it's very simplistic, is to apply a limiter. Now, limiters work incredibly well. They're a form of compression, basically, but the goal is that when you get close to peaking, your limiter senses it coming, and it goes, okay, jam that audio down before it can get above a certain point. And there's ways to control whether it's like someone slowly putting their foot on the brake of the car so the car slowly comes to a stop, or slamming the brake on there and the car sliding to a stop and everyone getting jerked out of that, or like pulling the emergency brake. You know, we want to have it as a natural flow. We don't want to overwhelm people with this constant bashing into this peaking area, and so the audio changes and manipulates in a robotic way, which is very easy to accidentally do. So what I do is I grab my limiter and I drag it onto the audio track that is the audio that I want to affect. Now, how I record my stuff, I'll have to show you that, guys, in a future video. I might have mentioned it in a past video, but I want to affect track 1. I can drop this directly on the clip, but usually I'm affecting more than one clip. Or if I've already edited a ton of clips, I don't want to have to go in and drop that limiter and change that limiter for every single one of those clips. So I go in and I drop it on the track itself. So now that we've applied it, now you can see that audio here, that audio thing. So let's go ahead and purposefully supply too much audio and push a bunch of this into peaking. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and hit play. And we're going to see that we are just going to be peaking like crazy. These two little red dots here on the top means we've gone far too far. We are going far too far. But right now, actually, if you take a look, if we turn off our limiter, it'll get worse. Okay, you can see that that is just blaring out in the reds. If I turn on the limiter, you got to understand what it's already attempting to do. It's still limiting and still going into the red, but take a look at my settings here. Right now, we are only applying 0 level, so we can turn up our input even louder if we want. But then take a look at this release. This release is basically how much is it trying to cut it ahead of time or behind time, and the goal is to not overwhelm this thing. So what I always do for myself personally is I tell this threshold that I want it to start removing audio at -1 dB, okay? So that is -1 dB. Now take a look here. As we take a look at our limiter and see how it's doing, it's handling it very well. Nothing is going above that 0 at this point in time. I think it would take a very loud, expressive moment to make that happen. This is good. Now we can change this if we want it to do that less. We alter our release. Maybe we'll make it longer instead of shorter, and maybe that will make it a bit more natural. This has to be done very, very carefully. Personally, I don't touch this. I personally leave it at 1, and I leave this input as it stands, and I simply alter the threshold. I want things as simple as possible. The area that I make sure that I affect the most is here. So as I'm working in my timeline, I make sure that I give that limiter as little work to do as humanly possible. And what I'll usually do is I'll try to zoom out and I'll see where the absolute loudest point of the whole video is. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to zoom out here. Oh wow, take a look at this. Things got noisy right in this area. Actually, they're much noisier than before. This is probably when I switched microphones. Look at the difference. So here's what we can do. Let's drop this down and see about how big a difference that is. That's a very big difference. Look at how quiet this is in comparison to this. So maybe this microphone over here on the right side is picking up more audio than the microphone I used previously, because I was testing two different microphones. So maybe in this case, what we would end up doing, which unfortunately takes more time and more editing, would be to apply a ramp, alter this audio up to try and get it a little closer so it balances out with this audio over here. And then, now that we've applied that, and you would have to go through your entire video and look for these moments where you've switched back and forth. And that over here looks a little quiet as well, maybe around this area. It looks like maybe I switched back in this area. And so I'm going to go ahead and put a ramp here. And we'll ramp this up just a tick. Not much, just a tick, very carefully. We're still pushing stuff into those reds. The goal is to give this machine, this limiter, as little work to do as possible so that you're not crumbling or crushing the audio into a smaller signal. That's the main goal. You want to make sure that you're working with as much quality as you can. And when you decide to go and squeeze it into a box, well, it fights to get out, and it's stuck in this box, and it does not give you the full opportunity to get the best crisp audio that you can possibly get. We're broadcasters. We want the best that we can possibly get, so find the best ways to go there, and this is the one that works very well for me. And then in the moments when I get excited or I have a big blowout or whatever the case, that's when the limiter will come in and really save the day and make sure that I don't peak. And if I do peak, that I don't peak nearly as badly as I would have had I had cranked everything up or had I had not been aware of it in the first place. This is an automation that saves me every single day that I make a video. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. I hope it helps you as you look into your future on YouTube or wherever you are. I want just to give you the basics of what I do every day to make the videos behind me here. Well, I want to say a humongous thank you. First off, if you've watched the video all the way through, would you do me the honor of letting me know? Leave a comment down below that you watched the video all the way through. It means a lot to me because, trust me, I realize that this stuff takes far too long to talk about. There's probably shorter ways to talk about it. That's just not how I work, apparently. So thank you very much for even looking at the video. I hope it helps you in your future, in your dreams. I want you to accomplish big things, and that all starts with getting this stuff right first. I gotta say a humongous thank you to the people that make my channel thrive. Okay, I'm gonna start with my legacy historians, Tony Allen, Sean Hammond, and William Ponoff. These people are absolutely amazing supports of my channel. They have supported me in every change of content that I've done here. I'm a variety channel, I make lots of stuff, and these guys have supported me every step of the way. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much to my legacy historians. And then all of my other amazing historians, my Dorka historians and my early access historians, all of these amazing people continue to support my channel every single day. And I would love it if you'd consider doing it yourself. Hit the join button on any of my monetized videos and join at any tier that you want. If you join in the legacy historians, I shout your name out to the moon. And I deeply appreciate everyone who helps me continue to make this channel grow. Thank you also for helping us near 6,000 subscribers at the time of making this video. And I hope that the content that we continue to make into the future continues to be a blessing for you. So until next time, my friends, keep it crispy. 1 Tim 4:12. And you know what? What I would strongly suggest is go download YouVersion on your phone, okay? YouVersion is an amazing app where it puts Bible verses directly in your face every single day. Today's verse, Galatians 6:10. Give it a read for yourself. And thank you so very much for watching Legacy Studio. My name's Tim Lee. I'll see you next time. Bye.